In a quiet American home, where time moves slower than it used to, there is a carpet that has seen everything. It has felt small bare feet running across it in the past. It has absorbed the warmth of long afternoons and the silence of lonely evenings. Now, it lies stretched across the floor of a house where only one person lives, an older woman, living alone, managing everything by herself. Every morning, she wakes up early, even though no one is waiting for her. She makes her tea, walks carefully through the living room, and looks down at the carpet. She already knows where the problem spots are. She doesn't need to see them clearly. Her memory fills in the gaps, near the sofa, close to the hallway, the corner by the window where her old dog used to rest. These spots don't always look bad, but they feel wrong. And sometimes, especially when the weather is humid, they smell wrong too. She has tried to fix them so many times that she has lost count. She bought sprays that promised deep cleaning in minutes. She sprinkled powders that claimed to remove odors forever. She even rented a large carpet cleaning machine once, struggling to move it across the room, her hands shaking by the time she finished one small section. The carpet looked better for a few days. Then slowly, quietly, the stains returned, and the smell followed. That's the part that hurts the most. Not the work, not the money, but the feeling that nothing stays fixed. The feeling that the house is slowly slipping out of her control. Pet stains are cruel like that. They don't announce themselves loudly. They hide, they wait, and they come back when you least expect them. And the reason they come back has nothing to do with effort and everything to do with science. When a pet accident happens, it doesn't stop at the surface. Liquid moves downward, not outward. Gravity pulls it into the carpet fibers, then into the padding underneath, and sometimes even deeper into the floor below. What you see on the surface is just a stained shadow. What you smell later is what stayed behind. Pet urine isn't just liquid, it's chemistry. It contains uric acid, proteins, bacteria, and salts. When it dries, uric acid forms crystals that bond tightly to fibers. These crystals don't dissolve in water. This is why mopping, steaming, or scrubbing with soap often makes things worse. Heat and moisture reactivate the crystals, releasing odor again. That's why stains seem gone until a warm day arrives, and suddenly the smell fills the room. For years, this woman blamed herself. She thought she waited too long. She thought she cleaned the wrong way. She thought maybe the carpet was just old and ruined. But the truth was simpler and more frustrating. She was using surface solutions for a deep problem. One afternoon, after another failed attempt, she found herself sitting on the floor, staring at the carpet, exhausted. Her knees hurt, her back hurt, and something inside her finally said, "There has to be a better way." That moment matters. Because real change always starts with the right question. Not how do I scrub harder, but why does this keep happening? She began to learn something that most people never do. Pet stains don't need force. They need neutralization. Neutralization means changing the chemical structure of the stain so it can no longer react, smell, or return. Once neutralized properly, the problem doesn't come back. Not in weeks, not in months, not ever. The first thing she stopped doing was rubbing the carpet. Rubbing feels productive, but it pushes liquid deeper and spreads the stain outward. Instead, she learned to blot. Blotting uses pressure, not friction. It lifts moisture upward, working with the fibers instead of against them. This simple change alone prevented stains from growing larger. But blotting only works for fresh accidents. Her stains were old, set, deep. They had lived inside the carpet for years. And that meant they needed something stronger but not harsher. This is where enzymes entered her life, quietly but powerfully. Enzyme cleaners are not fragrances. They are not detergents. They are living biological agents. Enzymes digest organic matter. They break down proteins, fats, and uric acid crystals into harmless gases that evaporate away. This isn't masking odor. This is eliminating its source. But enzymes have rules. They need moisture. They need time. And they need patience. Most people fail with enzyme cleaners because they spray and wipe too quickly. That kills the enzymes before they finish working. She did something different. She lightly saturated the problem areas, not flooding them, just enough to reach the padding where the real problem lived. Then she covered the area with a towel to slow evaporation. And she walked away. This is the hardest part for most people. Waiting. Nothing dramatic happens right away. There's no foam, no strong smell, no instant satisfaction. just quiet chemistry doing its job. Under the carpet fibers, enzymes were breaking molecular bonds that scrubbing could never reach. Uric acid crystals were being digested piece by piece. Bacteria lost their food source. Odor molecules stopped forming. When she returned hours later and blotted the area dry, something felt different. The carpet didn't just smell better. It smelled neutral, empty, like nothing had ever happened there. She waited another day. Still nothing. No smell. No darkening. No return. That's when she knew this wasn't temporary. But the story doesn't end there. Because carpets don't just hold urine. They hold oils, dirt, pet hair, dander, and years of invisible debris. If she wanted the carpet to truly feel new again, she needed one final shift in thinking. She realized that deep cleaning doesn't mean soaking. Soaking traps moisture and padding, leading to mold and future odors. Instead, controlled moisture paired with extraction is the key. Lightly misting problem areas, then blotting repeatedly, removes contaminants without drowning the carpet. She also learned something shocking about baking soda. Used incorrectly, it traps odor instead of removing it. Baking soda absorbs smells, but it doesn't destroy them. If used before neutralization, it locks odor particles inside the carpet. That's why powders often fail. Neutralize first, absorb later. Order matters. Slowly, carefully, she worked through the room. Not all at once, one section at a time. No rushing, no pain, no heavy machines, just understanding. And something unexpected happened. The house began to feel different, lighter, fresher. The air changed. The carpet didn't just look cleaner, it felt softer under her feet. That stale smell she had gotten used to was gone. Completely. For the first time in years, she wasn't embarrassed by her floor. And maybe more importantly, she wasn't exhausted by cleaning anymore. This wasn't just about carpets. It was about dignity. About finding methods that respect the body instead of punishing it. About realizing that aging doesn't mean giving up control, it means cleaning smarter. After that first real success, something shifted inside her house and inside her mind. For years, she had accepted the idea that the carpet would never truly be clean again. That it would always carry reminders of the past, faint smells, dark shadows, small embarrassments she tried not to notice. But now, as she walked barefoot across the living room floor, she paused. The carpet felt different, not just cleaner, calmer, neutral, as if the floor itself could finally rest. This is when most people make their next mistake. They stop too soon. They assume one success means the job is finished. But deep cleaning carpets, especially in homes with pets, is not a single action. It's a system. And this woman, without realizing it, was about to unlock the final piece. As days passed, she paid attention to something subtle. The smell didn't return, but the air still felt heavy in certain corners of the room. That told her something important. Even when stains are neutralized, carpets still trap oils, dander, and microscopic debris that dull fibers and hold on to stale air. This isn't visible dirt. It's structural buildup. Carpet fibers are designed like tiny hooks. They trap particles from shoes, skin, pets, and food. Over time, these particles coat the fibers, making them stiff and flat. This is why carpets stop feeling soft, even when they look clean. The woman had scrubbed stains before, but she had never reset the carpet itself. She learned that vacuuming alone isn't enough. Most vacuums remove surface dust but leave behind fine particles embedded deep in the pile. These particles bind with oils and moisture, creating a film that attracts even more dirt. It's a cycle that never ends unless interrupted correctly. This is where controlled moisture became important again, not flooding, not soaking, but strategic dampness. She prepared a simple solution: warm water, a small amount of mild detergent, and white vinegar added carefully. Not for scent, not for shine, but for chemistry. Vinegar helps break down alkaline residues left behind by pet urine and detergents. When used after enzymes have finished their work, it resets the carpet's pH balance. This is critical. A neutral pH discourages bacteria growth and prevents odor from returning. She misted the carpet lightly, barely enough to feel damp under her fingertips. Then she did something most people skip. She worked the fibers gently with a soft brush, not to scrub, but to lift. The motion was slow and deliberate, designed to separate fibers and release trapped debris. This wasn't hard work. It was careful work. As she moved section by section, she noticed something surprising. The carpet color looked brighter, not because stains were removed, but because light could finally reflect properly off clean fibers. Years of dullness lifted away. Now came the most important step: extraction. Without a machine, extraction means blotting repeatedly with clean towels. Press, lift, rotate towel, repeat. This pulls moisture and dissolved debris upward, out of the carpet. It takes patience, but it prevents the single biggest problem in carpet cleaning: trapped moisture. Moisture left behind feeds mold and bacteria. That's why so many carpets smell worse after cleaning. The woman understood now. Clean carpets must dry quickly and completely. She opened windows. She turned on fans. She let airflow do the rest. Air movement speeds evaporation and prevents microbial growth. This is physics, not preference. Dry carpets stay clean longer because bacteria cannot survive without moisture. As the carpet dried, she noticed something else. The house felt lighter, not emotionally, physically. The air moved better. The stale heaviness she had lived with for years was gone. She hadn't realized how much the carpet had been affecting the entire room. This is something science confirms. Carpets act like filters. They trap airborne particles and odors over time. When carpets are properly cleaned, indoor air quality improves noticeably. For someone living alone, especially at an older age, this matters more than people realize. Clean air improves sleep, breathing, and even mood. But the real breakthrough came a week later. Normally, this is when pet odors return, especially in humid weather, especially at night. She waited. She paid attention. She checked the same spots she used to avoid. Nothing. No smell. No darkening. No reminder. That's when she knew this method wasn't just effective, it was permanent. Now, let's talk about why steam cleaners failed her before. Steam uses heat and moisture, both of which reactivate uric acid crystals if neutralization hasn't occurred. Steam spreads odor deeper into padding, creating a delayed problem. It looks clean at first, then smells worse later. This is why many professionals avoid steam for pet stains unless enzymes are used first. She had unknowingly been undoing her own work for years. Once she understood that, everything made sense. She also learned why baking soda alone never worked. Baking soda absorbs odors, but it doesn't destroy them. If odor molecules remain active underneath, baking soda becomes saturated and releases the smell back into the air later. This is why people feel like odors come back stronger. Baking soda should only be used after neutralization, as a finishing step, not a solution. The woman now had a routine: simple, gentle, sustainable. Fresh accident, blot immediately. No rubbing. Old stain, enzymes first, time second. Overall freshness, light mist, gentle lifting, proper drying. Prevention, airflow and regular vacuuming. No heavy machines, no scrubbing on her knees, no harsh fumes, no pain. The most beautiful part was how this changed her relationship with her home. She no longer felt embarrassed when someone visited. She no longer worried about smells she couldn't control. She no longer avoided certain rooms. Her house felt like hers again. Living alone at an older age in the United States often means adapting quietly. People don't talk enough about how hard physical chores become. How shame creeps in when things feel unmanageable. How frustration builds when effort doesn't lead to results. This carpet taught her something powerful: that smart methods matter more than strength. That understanding beats endurance. That age doesn't mean helplessness, it means choosing better systems. And maybe that's why this story matters so much. Because there are millions of homes just like hers, with carpets that hold memories, pets that were loved deeply, and stains that feel impossible. And there are millions of people who think the only solution is replacement or exhaustion. But it isn't. The right method doesn't fight the carpet, it works with it. As the carpet finally dries, the room feels different, not just cleaner, but lighter, calmer, almost peaceful. The old woman slowly lowers herself into her favorite chair, the same chair she's had for years, the one placed perfectly to catch the afternoon sunlight coming through the window. She looks down at the carpet beneath her feet, and for a moment, she just smiles. Not the loud kind of smile, but the quiet one that comes when something heavy finally lifts off your chest. This carpet has seen everything. It has absorbed years of footsteps, spilled coffee, muddy paws, and quiet tears wiped away when no one was watching. It carried memories she never talked about: holidays spent alone, letters that stopped arriving, pets that once filled the house with noise and warmth. And for a long time, She believed those stains were permanent, just like the exhaustion she felt every time she looked at them. She remembers how many times she tried before. Expensive sprays that promised miracles but delivered disappointment. Scrubbing until her hands ached and her knees begged her to stop. Watching stains fade slightly, only to return darker and stronger, like they were mocking her effort. Every failure made her believe that maybe this was just how things were now, that old carpets, like old people, were simply expected to stay worn and tired. But today was different. Today, she didn't fight the carpet. She understood it. She worked with it, not against it. She followed simple steps backed by science, patience, and common sense methods that respected the fibers instead of destroying them. And in return, the carpet gave her something back, proof that some problems don't need force, just the right approach. She runs her hand gently across the surface, feeling the softness return. The smell in the room has changed too. No harsh chemicals, no artificial fragrances trying to hide something. Just clean, real clean. The kind that lets you breathe deeper without even realizing it. Outside, a car passes by. Somewhere down the street, a dog barks. Life keeps moving, just like it always does. But inside this house, something has shifted. This wasn't just about removing pet stains. This was about reclaiming control. About proving to herself that even now, even alone, even tired, she can still solve problems. She can still learn something new. She can still win small battles that make daily life easier. She thinks about how many people are probably sitting in homes just like hers right now. People staring at carpets they've given up on. People feeling embarrassed when guests come over. People thinking professional cleaning is the only answer, or worse, thinking nothing will ever work. She wishes she could tell them what she knows now. That fast doesn't mean careless. That simple doesn't mean weak. That the right method can save time, money, and energy, and more importantly, restore confidence. This is why this matters. Because cleaning isn't really about the carpet. It's about dignity. It's about comfort. It's about feeling good in your own space again. When your environment improves, your mind follows. When your home feels clean, you feel lighter, safer, more at peace. She slowly stands up, moving carefully but confidently, and walks across the room one more time just to feel it. No stickiness, no dark patches, no lingering odor, just clean fibers beneath her slippers. She nods to herself, almost proud, not because it was perfect but because it worked. And that's the lesson she carries with her now. You don't need to exhaust yourself. You don't need harsh chemicals. You don't need expensive machines. You don't need hours of painful scrubbing. You need the right knowledge. You need patience. You need a method that respects both your time and your body. If this method helped her, it can help you too. So the next time you look down at your carpet and feel overwhelmed, remember this moment. Remember that stubborn stains are not the end of the story. Remember that fast doesn't have to mean careless, and easy doesn't have to mean ineffective. And most importantly, remember that your home deserves care, but so do you. Because a cleaner carpet isn't just a cleaner floor. It's a quieter mind, a calmer heart, and a reminder that even the most stubborn problems can be solved one simple step at a time. And with that, the room settles into silence again. Not the lonely kind, the peaceful kind.